Welcome to episode 8. It's the Great 8, or the Alexander Ovechkin episode of Hangin with Gannon podcast. I'm Pat Gannon, your host, with over 26 years of helping families secure their dream homes through intelligent financing. By now, you know we are on all platforms, wherever you get your podcasts. Subscribing to our podcast helps us out and gets you the new episodes as soon as they post. The full podcast, along with our social media clips, can be found on our YouTube channel. As well, if you're fully subscribed, that will put you in the Hangin with Gannon inner circle.
What?
The VIP,
wow.
Right? Who doesn't want to be?
Who doesn't want to be a part of that?
Yes,
wow.
and you can hear someone talking here. This is our guest for today.
Hi.
Katie Moore. Katie is a diamond agent with Engel Volkers in Annapolis, and a consistent top producer for sales volume with an average sales price of nearly $952,000 in 2025. But what makes Katie's story extraordinary isn't just the numbers, it's the journey. A former Peace Corps volunteer, a published writer, a yoga instructor, a stay-at-home mom, and a single mother of 4 who flipped a coin that changed everything. She's also the cover story, as we can see here, for the Chesapeake Real Producers April 2026 issue. And her tagline says it all. You deserve more.
Oh,
Katie, welcome to the podcast.
Thanks. What a beautiful intro. Could this be like my alarm clock?
Yes.
Like to just start me out like hype. Thank you, Pat. It is a joy to be here.
John behind the screen there, he can make that happen. He'll get us hooked up.
The great Oz will do that for us. Thank you. Thank you, Pat. This really is happy to be
Well,
here.
I'm glad to have you here. I was thinking about this morning before I came up here how we met. I mean, obviously, you're killing it in real estate in this area for a while. So I knew of you, but we got introduced when you got connected with Chesapeake Real Producers, and what that is, if listeners don't know, it's the top 300 in the Chesapeake region. That's Anne Arundel County, the Eastern Shore, agents by production. Katie's well within that, and but she's also was asked to help as an ambassador. That's the word we found.
That's the word. That's
ambassador
the word
is today to help kind of take some of the get-togethers. I'll say the networking events to another level. So we've had prom parties, we've had 80s parties, but at the end of the day, I think that the message is, Katie likes a party, I think. I mean, maybe, or likes to plan parties and does a great job.
You deserve more parties.
Yeah, that more
M-O-R-E parties.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that's how we got connected. But I always like to when I have a guest on here, we talk about their origin story, and but in your case, I think we'll probably stay on it a little bit longer because your origin story is phenomenal. I read a lot of it when I read the article here in the magazine. Truly inspiring. So we're just going to have you kind of kick it off a little bit. Tell us about how you, about your origin story. Why don't you kind of take over?
Well, thanks. That sounds so lovely and kind to say. So I went, after I graduated college, I was a young, naive 21-year-old, essentially a baby. And I was very naive to think like, oh, she can save the world. Like, that's what I wanted to do.
Right,
that was really the goal. So I went to Cameroon, West Africa, which I had even look on a map. I wasn't even sure where it was, know? And, but what had happened was when I was there for about a month, 4 to 6 weeks, some health and safety. So you get assigned to a homestay family when you go there.
Okay.
So you're immersed. And fun fact too, they only spoke French. I only spoke English.
Right. So
I mean, my high school Spanish could get me actually nowhere. It just got me backward. And but anyway, some slightly scary health and safety things came up, and I had to decide in a night. They were like, we need to relocate you to a different family because this family, it's like. When life happens and things come up and they have to quickly act for for my safety. So to either go with a different homestay family or to go home. There's only 2 options. And I was like, okay, I'm going to flip a coin. And if it's heads, I stay. And if it's tails, I go. Right. And it was heads. And everything in my gut said 2 out of 3. And that's how I make every big life decision, because your gut doesn't really lie to you. Even though our minds play with us and our hearts can jack us up, but the gut is going to tell you what you really want. So my kids, that's what I tell them too. They're debating these. Flip a coin. I mean, it could be Chick-fil-A or Taco Bell.
Yeah, right.
Let's really think about it. You know, it could be for light decisions too. So I ended up going home, and so I wasn't there. I was originally supposed to be there for 2 years, but and then I had already gone out with. I'd already met who became my husband.
Okay.
We got married pretty young. Got married at 23. First baby at 24.
Sure.
Another at 27. Twins at 29.
Right.
So I was essentially like a baby having babies.
Right,
you know.
Yeah.
I still didn't save the world. I just kept populating it. That's what really happened. And
well, they all can save the world.
They all can save the world. You're welcome.
Yeah, right, there you go.
You guys, yes, go for it. And we all do it. We're all doing our part, right, to be good people. And so, and life got slippery and hard. And also, even with that, it's not the same thing as. Actually, I did flip a coin on this too with the marriage, but really, I did a Google search probably 20 times. Signs you should get a divorce. Yeah, which is the sign. If you are doing that and looking for a sign, if you're searching for that, that is probably already there. That's your sign. That's a sign in itself, you know. And I read one article that like resonated with me. That was kind of like, stop wishing for nature to kind of take care of this thing that you don't have the bravery to do. Yeah, and that one like really resonated with me. Of like, okay, I knew that it was time. I was, so I was about 36. I had, when my now ex-husband left, my twins were 7 years old, and I had a 9-year-old and an 11-year-old. Wow, that's hard. Yeah, but you know, they're amazing humans, and I'm grateful for it, and every bit of hard. Yeah, it's worth it. Yeah. So, yeah. So,
so now you're on your own with 4 children. So what happens next? What is the
well, I have no money.
Right. So you had to figure out a way to get money.
I had to figure out a way to get money real quick.
Yeah.
And that was a hard, and one of my friends and mentors, and she's actually, one of my favorite people in life, Jen Novak, she literally was like, took my hand and was like, if you do this, I won't let you fail. Like if you do real estate. And I had seen her all the time, taking phone calls, being like, oh my God, the stress.
You saw, you're like,
I saw that. I was like, I know I don't want to do real estate.
Yeah.
Like, wow, I don't want that.
Yeah.
Look at her poolside. She's, sweating in all the ways. And, but I needed a job where I could get my kids on and off the bus every day. I needed some of the flexibility. I knew I couldn't have like a 9 to 5, If you have kids, there are so many random days off, and there's no delays, and there's sickness all the time. Like, it's actually super rare that there's 5 days in a row that like everybody went to school, So I was like, I can't work some traditional 9 to 5. Sure. I need something with flexibility that I can work from home. So, and so I'm so grateful that she was like, here, take my hand.
I mean, that's amazing. Obviously, was already at that time in a huge
she's
established
a baddie.
age.
She was all up in this Real Producer magazine.
What I mean, how much did those words matter to you? I mean, even to this day. I mean,
everything. And when you are leaving a marriage, and I don't care, like if it's really, if it's all kind, and it will hurt you at some point, right? And I was very much feeling so small and weak, and had zero confidence at all. Okay. And really felt like just like scrambling and like, what can I do? I've been a stay-at-home mom for 12 years. I have my yoga certificate and I have writing, but those were jobs that would like, they can buy you like a latte and like not even like a venti, but a tall, but like I needed support your family money. Yeah. So to have someone, like all you need, I always say, like you just need one person to believe in you. One person's like, I think you would be good at this. And it could have been anything. Right. You know what I mean? But I was like, okay, well, this is something that I think that I could do, and so it was huge. You just needed one person to back you, Which is interesting too, because sometimes I think in situations like that where, you had to figure out something quickly, with that sometimes people would take a safer path, that right. Even though that
you said the 9 to 5 wouldn't work for your schedule. Like I'll just have to figure out a way. We'll have
exactly.
a lot of someone babysit it. A lot of that to do that. But like what kept you going with that? I'm sure because I know it wasn't easy. It's still not easy, but it's really starting off. I know that wasn't easy for you. What kept you going?
Well, really, I mean, obviously, those 4 kids, like, they asked for none of this, and really at the end of the day, it was like, I'm the only one who can give them a happy mother who loves life. And so I just need to do whatever I have to do, and just keep failing forward, honestly. Some people's like, failure's not an option. To me, failure was actually the only option. I just had to keep learning. I had to keep failing forward, learning, going again, because they deserve that. They deserved joy, and I didn't want to let them down. So your kids really, that was kept you going. The big why. They still are the why, even when it was
so tough that you could just think about them and
be like, okay, it's worth it. Every bit of hard will be worth it. And I just like kind of staying to the grind and staying consistent and like knowing and just having the faith that one day this will pay off. One day I'll be able to breathe in a different way.
Well, you said something when I was kind of researching a little bit our interview here. You said escape and denial are easier paths, but not much growth happens there. Mm-hmm. What does that mean to you now versus when you were living in it? What's the difference now?
And when you're living in it, it's like you're in a trench. And then sometimes you find that trench has like a trap door, so you get like a deeper rock bottom, and you just didn't know that was going to happen. And I think a lot of people, and it's human nature to sometimes escape. I mean, look at like social media. Sometimes you can go down a rabbit hole.
No, looking at people's comments. Why do I care what 1, 2, 3? But I'm like, it makes me mad.
Yes. Also, can somebody like smack me? Like, get off of that person's honeymoon. You don't even know them.
Right.
And so even if it's not, say, like a substance or something, we all have this way of kind of getting lost down rabbit holes and escaping our lives, and even just to stay in denial. I mean, in my marriage, I think for a long time I stayed in a denial place because I wanted so badly for everything to be okay. Like you want that perfect Christmas card. Yeah. You want like this perfect life, or you often want people just to think you have the perfect life.
Yeah, well, that's social media too.
Social media too.
That is everything in social media.
The great mirage of social media that everyone is perfect and has their lives together. And I too, it's like, I want to look like I have my life together. Yeah. So let me ignore all the cracks in the foundation.
Sure.
And not really fix them. And so it just became too hard to stay in that space. It became like, I need to grow out. I need to grow, and I need to overcome this.
Well, when you were, obviously now you're in real estate and going through the tough times, figuring it all out. Was there a moment where you knew you had turned the corner?
I feel like sometimes you turn a corner, you're like, oh wait, here's a ditch. Should I sprain my ankle? Yeah. And like that still happens, right? You keep going the corners. You keep on you patch it up and you keep going and get out of that trench, and then you just keep on going and turning the corner. And I say, like, I really didn't have any money, but it's very true. I mean, once I sold a television to have money to buy groceries for my kids, it was like that. Right. And one of my kids, my second oldest, Nico, 1 year for his birthday, and I have barely anything. But I wrote him a note, and I said, I'm going to try not to get emotional. I wasn't expecting this. Yeah. I'm sorry, Diane Sawyer.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Wasn't expecting
the
this.
Hangin with Gannon podcast brings it out of people. But go on.
It's good, right? Bringing truths to surface.
Yeah.
So 1 year for his birthday, I wrote him an IOU. And I said, one day I'm going to take you 4 to Greece, and I'm going to give you 50 euros when we get there. And I was able to do that in 2022. I took them to Greece. So my picture for him in my phone is him holding that 50 euro bill. That's priceless. That's
awesome.
What I mean? Every bit of hard and just doing whatever to get to that point of a balcony in Athens.
Yeah.
With him beaming. And like.
And you could have never imagined. I mean, maybe you were trying to imagine, but never when you were in the spot, when you wrote the IOU.
Oh my God. I was like,
you were writing it,
I probably wrote it in blood.
Yeah, right.
With like tears on the side. Like, I'm too. And I bet that he was probably like, okay, sure.
Yeah. Yeah,
okay, Mom.
sure,
Okay. Well, okay, I'll be 50 something.
Right,
when that happens. But I just knew. And then when it's like sometimes, you got to set that why like that of like, I got to get them to Greece.
Yeah.
Like, I've got to get them here. Or I've got to get them whatever to say yes at the grocery store. You know what I mean? It can be whatever you are in this life to get in that place. Every time I get check out at the grocery store, I need to take a moment of gratitude. Because before there were times where I was like, I hope
this card works.
I hope this card works.
Yeah.
There are many times when I had my kids with me and it would not work. And then, and just, nobody wants that.
No.
Nobody wants that.
No.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's real
But
deal.
it's
life.
It's made you the person you are today and the real estate agent that you're.
We're all works in progress,
Well, I mentioned in the opening about, the poetry and the writing, and we're going to... We're gonna get into that maybe a little bit more here, but sure. I did want to ask when it comes to real estate. You I know that you had a background with Baltimore Real Producers where you wrote for their magazine. Your writing background, how has it shaped how you approach your real estate business?
Yeah, so I mean, I love writing. That's my my true love and passion for sure, reading and writing. And I needed to make more money when I got into the business, but it was twofold. Like I wanted to make some money, but I also wanted to learn from the very best in the business too. So, and success leaves tremendous clues, you know, and then you realize in reading people's things, like, so there's so many parallels, right, of success. And there's also many paths. Real estate's like a fitness journey. Like, there's so many different ways you can do it to be successful, right?
There's got to do it this way now.
No, you don't have to door knock. You don't, but you can. Like, there's so many different ways. So it's like choosing your strengths and what you're good at and doing that too.
Authentic to yourself.
Be authentic to yourself. And so I started writing for Colleen with Baltimore and doing that. And then I did like Northern Virginia and DC. But then I was like, okay, I actually think doing all these this is actually taking away from the real estate business.
Yeah.
So I had to dial that back and stop actually altogether because I was like, I had to go all in on real estate to really be successful with it. I actually had to stop a lot of the side hustles and the ambassador work.
Right, the ambassador work. It pays so well. They just pay so well.
So well.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, then let's get, learn from it and do it. But it's still fun. And I wrote for I have a couple different books, but I had like an article with like the Chesapeake Family magazine called One More Thing, which is fun. And, just do things like that. And so I still write, but it's real estate is definitely the primary career.
Well, speaking about writing, I know you published a poetry collection called Fire in Her Veins.
Yeah.
About love, loss, healing, and reigniting your fire. What made you decide to put that in the world?
Well, writing can be super vulnerable, and I would say of anything I've written, that's probably the most vulnerable. And it's not like a tell-all or anything like that, but it's bits and pieces of my story. I could never, I don't say never, but as long as my ex is alive, I'm not really going to do a true-all memoir that because he's in our lives. He's in my kid's life, he's in my life, and I want to tell a story without making it look like I'm a victim, because that's not true. Right. Because there's both parties are involved in that and in healing. But that one, it felt good because it's like a fall and a rise. So it's almost too it's a story too of the rising, and it's like the girlfriends helped me rise too. It's one thing to be like, I'm pretty sure this person's house is on fire. Oh my God, I'm praying for that person with their house on fire. It's a whole other thing if you have people that come in and help pull you out of a fire. Right. That is truly what it is too. So it's kind of like a testament to that. And sometimes, your soulmates can be your friendships too, and so it's kind of like that in the rising and overcoming.
Yeah, someone's seeing the fire. Yeah, I get it. Someone's seeing the fire, and it's sad that she's in the fire,
so
but I don't want to get involved. I don't want to get involved.
Right.
And when
Right.
sometimes you need to get involved. Yeah, and that person that's in the fire needs you to get
exactly.
involved.
Like,
Someone
please spread the hose.
Yeah,
right. It's totally true. And because everyone also is carrying their own heart.
Yeah.
Everyone is going through heavy and hard and things that we have no idea what people are really going through behind the scenes too. So I understand that too. And there have been plenty of times, but yeah, it's a whole other level to,
that's great.
To like extinguish it. Yeah.
Well, I really appreciate you sharing that.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of the stuff that is personal, that your comfortability with putting it out there, and I think it's really beautiful.
Thanks, Pat.
So I guess we'll have to talk about some real estate. What do you think? What do you think? Like, we'll do some.
Because we can do all of it.
Because people want to hear your opinion on things.
Okay.
I mean, it's really important.
Yeah.
So we're here in Annapolis. We're recording in Annapolis. So I think your office in Annapolis.
Yeah.
I mean, I know you work in other cities and such. But let's talk about Annapolis right now. So for someone who's never bought in Annapolis, what makes this market completely different from other markets?
Well, it's a lovely, lovely place. It has the history, it has the water, it's very walkable. People say I maybe don't say it, but people say it's a drinking town with a sailing problem.
Right, yeah.
So it's like insider knowledge on that. But, it really is great. And often the price point, though, can be a bit higher than other surrounding counties, too. Not the D.C. way, but like the other Southern Maryland way. But it's a great place to visit. It's a great place to live. Really friendly, lovely. And, it's like you have these brick-lined streets that take you down. There's great restaurants, great shops, so many local shops, local coffee shops. So highly recommend.
Yeah,
maybe I'm an Annapolis ambassador.
Right? Yeah. I think we're going to find a lot of things you're an ambassador of today.
I wear many ambassador hats.
Yeah. Those all pay really well. So we talked about water and water access properties are a huge role. When you're either you're working with a buyer and they're looking at a waterfront or water access type property, what are some of the things that you go over with them that's important, that maybe something that's inland that you wouldn't be thinking about on there? What are some things that you point out to them?
One of the biggest things is the critical area, and the critical area is 1,000 feet from water. That part of land that's 1,000 feet, and you have to be so careful with this critical area. It's very important. We're all about the bay. We're environmental area. Like, you cannot. Some people will be like, "Oh, I'll just cut down those trees," and it's like, no, you cannot. You actually cannot. And I've heard, it's $50,000 fine for cutting down a tree in a critical area. Like, you cannot just touch this. You need to have, you have to talk to the county. You have to have an arborist who's a specialist in the critical area to find out exactly what we can do. Sometimes it's not that you can't do things, but then you have to plant a native species. So it's super important to know that, because I think people think that they can just it's their land and they can do what they want, and that's absolutely not
and
true.
When you're paying the potential price point, I mean, it can range from a lot of higher numbers. And if you are making a purchase like that, you better know everything that you can do and you can't do.
Right. I recently had a buyer who was looking at a waterfront critical area, and she actually on AI it was a new build, and she wanted to ask the builder to put in this walkway, and I was like, I can already tell you no, because you only have as a builder, they only have so much land that they're able to play with too, and they were at capacity. I already knew that going in, and I'm like, we can't do an AI image of something you want to add on. It can't. You can't put a shed even. Different things, and people I think that they can. Oh, but it's farther away from the water. Even if it's a different direction, it's like, well, it's on the slot. It's still within that 1,000 feet. So so that's.
Well, we talked earlier a lot about AI, and I think AI should have known that.
AI.
Yeah, come on,
I
AI.
know. Maybe they didn't put critical area in there.
Right, there you go.
I'm like, it looked very magical.
Right.
This magical walkway, but I'm like, we can't really ask for that to be included because he already told us, So. Yeah, so it's just things to think about.
Sure.
I'm sorry, was that even your question?
Yeah, I think that was my question. Yeah. We talked about the things that are important that are water. Yeah,
yes,
water.
Water and AI.
Yeah.
Very important things. I got you.
Well, in Annapolis, of course,
Yeah.
it has the historic downtown, the condos, the sprawling waterfronts. Where are you seeing the most activity right now in the market as we're like spring, summer market?
Yeah, I mean, there are a lot of people wanting water. We are, right, we're being in the boating and the crabbing and all of that too. It's definitely a water place. So I think people now are starting to think about it. We've had some fluke beautiful days that's made people being like, oh, we want that life too. And we see a lot of like DC commuters and people too who are like, I want to move outside of that and be, and have that view, So
are you
that's probably the most.
Are those people, are they also, are those living there full time, or are they second home? Like if people come from DC or those areas, or is it a combination of both?
It's a combination of both. Some people do want that to be their primary residence, and then other people, it's a second home. It's like a weekend home, kind of get out of like the hustle and bustle, but have like an oasis that's not all that far, from the Northern Virginia, DC area, especially. So yeah, it's great.
Okay.
So
and with remote work, I mean, I know we went, it's funny, obviously COVID, we went, completely remote, and then now a lot of the federal government workers, I mean, we're with us in DC, obviously the federal government plays a huge factor more than any other area.
Right.
Have you seen people have to move out of the area that went extended?
Because like in COVID, some people were like, oh, well, now we can live wherever we want because we don't have to worry about these commutes. But then, we have seen some people like, okay, well, I have to go back to the office. So they have to switch.
But that's the beauty of Anne Arundel County is that you're so close. I mean, like if you want, it's not across the bridge. I mean, that's a different thing. People that move to the Eastern Shore, especially with the bridge, I'm sure are, you just never know what you get with the Bay Bridge, where you don't have to really deal with that if you're anywhere in Anne Arundel County.
Absolutely.
Speaking of Anne Arundel County, I mean, what are you seeing right now in the market in general? Is it competitive, or is it a buyer's market, a seller's market? What are you seeing right now?
I mean, it's still a seller's market, but buyers are getting more perks, more benefits, more power, which is great to see. But it depends. Like if the listing is absolutely beautiful, great condition, priced right, that's the real key, and ready to go, those are getting still some multiple offers. And people are waiving everything, I had one recently. I mean, we were 100,000 over, waived everything, and we were up against 6 offers.
Yeah.
So, and didn't get it. And it's funny because then that buyer had remorse, and then you have to think about, it is hard. It's hard when you're doing a lot. But other ones though, we're seeing and if buyers want those perks, it's like, okay, let's find the ones that have maybe slipped through the cracks that are on, for over 30 days. Let's see where we can do, because there's definitely still a lot of property like that too, that you have some room on. And that's when you really can get some perks when it's been sitting for a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm noticing the same thing. It's some are sitting for a while, but I think it's not the days of the COVID times where you could put anything on the market, literally anything, and it would sell.
Right.
And
agents weren't doing anything. It's like iPhone photos, and you're like, how is this? Right, but it would be multiple offers, and now that's not.
I'm finding too, especially the homes that because homes built in the 70s and 80s are that haven't been taken care of
course,
are not moving, or they're getting under contract and then they're going through discovery on a home inspection, and then suddenly it's and the reality is this, you got to be taking care of those things if you're a seller.
You do. You do.
And if you're not, they're not moving.
Exactly. And buyers are more savvy. They're really keeping an eye on all of that too,
Which I love so much more than I hated. I hated that COVID market. I mean, we did it, it was, I just hated it, not getting home inspections, not getting the protections that you normally get. You see more of that. I just hated seeing that and rushing to making quick decisions that give a little bit of time to think about it and digest it, because that's when I think you get more of the buyer's remorse when you have to make a decision so quickly, and then you're like, what the hell did I do?
What the hell did I do? And not only that, am I ever going to get that money back?
Yeah.
Like, now I have to stay in it for a certain amount of years to be able to even break even, because we overpaid for this.
Yeah.
So that, total, freak out.
When you're out there, you maybe have a buyer comes to you and they kind of want to be, and I want to be in Anne Arundel County, but I'm open to hearing from you, Katie. Where what are some of the neighborhoods or areas in Anne Arundel County that people are overlooking right now? What do you have? Do you have some neighborhoods or areas that you like?
Absolutely. I would say don't sleep on SoCo. Southern Anne Arundel County is fantastic. And you can get a lot of land there. We're talking like Harwood, Davidsonville, like Edgewater, and then south of there. So you have your Deal, Shady Side, Galesville. I'm a SoCo girl, and I think it's a great place to live. And you can get a lot of land. You can also get your water. And if you're commuting to DC, there's back roads there. I said, like, you're in DC, it can take you an hour to still be in DC. So you might as well go and get your land for the same price point or less, get some bedrooms, have some grass, get a horse. Like, we see a lot of that, of like people then like moving and being like, and because you could totally, I think that's a great place.
Yeah. I mean, I think I'm getting to a point in my life too, like the idea of like a little bit slower pace is nice, but I don't want to be slow all the time. So at least the ability to get very quickly to something that's going to be a little bit more fast paced, and then and get the hell out of there and get back to the slow to the slow pace.
Right. Yeah. If you want more slow, go to the like Eastern Shore. And then Yeah, that's kind of like the order.
Yes.
And then you're still only from Southern America, you're 20 minutes to Annapolis. You're like 45 minutes to Baltimore, 45 minutes to DC, or more. It all depends on traffic. You can't really quote a DC timeline, but but it can vary. But it's a great spot to check out.
I think we talked a little bit, focus here maybe on buyers. Let's talk about sellers.
Yes.
What does a home need to look like to command top dollar in the market today? What's the biggest mistake sellers are making?
The biggest mistake is pricing it too high. Biggest mistake, hands down. Most listings that have been sitting for a while, it's like, you can always, like, the price is too high. Or it's, it's price, condition, location. We can't do anything about the location. We can control the condition and we can control the price. And so that is typically, and sometimes sellers, we want to test the market. Then we end up chasing the market. And that's when the buyers get the power, truly. And if they had priced it right from the start, often then that's how you get the bidding war. That's how you get people to waive things. That's, and it'll go quickly and more painlessly. So listening to your agent is clutch. It's really important. That has to be, you have to, we're in the market where you do need staging. You do need to have an agent's eyes going through it, or stager's eyes, like a buyer would, because you don't see the things in your own home. You've loved this home. You might have lived there for a number of years, so you don't see the flaws. So you have to be open to listening to what your agent says.
I like that. I'll talk to a client that's, I'm maybe going to work on the buy side. They're selling a house, and they talk about what their agent told them as the list price. They're like, but I think it's 50,000 more, whatever that number is. And in my mind, I'm very much a stay in my lane guy. I'm the money guy. Right. I'm not going to tell you about what the home should sell for or whatever. But I do lean to, especially if it's an agent that I know, like yourself, that I know, is an expert in that area. That's why you're being hired, and I think, you get that scarlet letter if, it's been on 3 weeks, what's wrong with it? Is there something wrong with the house? And oftentimes it's just, they priced too high and then got in this rut. And now suddenly you're in this situation. And we've seen it for the last few years where sometimes even pricing it a little bit under.
Of course.
Gets that bit, you're saying, gets that more people in and can kind of bid it up. And but, I think people just think that, hey, I want to go for that number, and you can still end up there. You're probably likely end up higher by doing the route where you're going lower.
Absolutely. It's completely true. Yes. Yeah. Listening is clutch. Yeah.
All right, mortgage rates. That's kind of my thing. They've been
it's your love language.
Yeah, it's my. I don't know about the love language, but it's my language.
It's your language.
I sometimes use some 4-letter words with it, but yes, they've been a little bit of a roller coaster here last 3 years or so, 3 or 4 years. How are your clients navigating that, and are people waiting it out, or are they jumping in anyway?
I mean, it's a blend. You know, some people are waiting it out for sure, but we're like, it's also making peace. We're not going to go back to that COVID 2.5%, 3%.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, you have to make peace with that. And like people always have to move. People always have to sell. People always have to move. And historically, like we're still like, this is, you know, it's lower than it was a year ago. And so it's like, yes, just stop waiting for like the next right thing. Because what's going to happen too, if it does go much lower, then we're back to the frenzy of the overpaying and the waiving everything and the buyer's remorse. And it's like, wouldn't you rather get in your home that you love when the timing is right? So I think that a lot of people are just, you know,
timing is right for you,
yeah,
not trying to time the market.
Exactly.
Home prices,
listen to
rates.
your life. You know, right? Like completely of like, yes, this is where we should move for our family's next chapter. Yeah. You know, versus what the rates are. You know, truly. That's
I mean, I just saw, you know, once again, we talk about social media and I get in the comments and people, there's something about, someone said you should wait 3 years to buy, just rent for 3 years and buy like, well, I don't even know where that number 3 years, comes from. And, you know, is there going to suddenly be this in Anne Arundel County, the Eastern Shores, there's suddenly going to be this load of inventory. Where's that inventory going to come from, Katie? Where suddenly, you know, I've talked about it before, but since they've been tracking it, it's wild. Housing has gone down nationally in value like 5 times, and 3 of the years were in the, you know, that 2007, 2008 when there, you know, and other than that, the little blips have been 1 or 2%. It's been, housing is king. It's the king. It always, you know, it keeps, and waiting for lower mortgage rates just means probably higher prices.
Exactly.
Higher payments, higher prices, and you just missed that appreciation of the higher price.
Right.
And when rates dropped, the people that bought, and in fact, the end of last year and the beginning of 2026, a lot of my clients that had bought in the last 2 years, I refinanced most of them.
Wow.
You know, so a lot of those folks are under 6%, which, by the way, we're not even there yet. So the people that there's also people that waited and say, I think rates are going to get even better, and they missed the thing. But we'll get them back. We'll get them back on the next one. We'll get them back when we have the next round of things. And you're not going to have a mortgage 30 years.
Exactly.
So, you know, get in there, get in the game.
And there's no smarter investment than real estate, truly, that you're going to make that kind of money. Like it's absolutely incredible. Like people go in and they renovate a kitchen and it's like, okay, it's money in the bank. And that starter house is what's going to get you the down payment on the dream house. Yeah. You know, think of it like that, getting your door into real estate to open more doors for you down the road.
Yeah. I think sometimes, you know, I know you deal with it much more than I do on the front lines of. Sometimes I think folks try to make their first home the dream home, and I mean in some cases that can happen, but for the most part it's do that, and then it's you can take that equity to buy the next house, or use that as a build your real estate portfolio by buying homes, living in them. I always thought it's a little bit more challenging now with our area and prices, but I love first time home buyers maybe buying a multifamily, and living in that. Like if Pat could go back in time and his time machine and do, I would buy when I'm like in my early 20s, get a bunch of roommates and put them in the different units, or maybe rent it out and do that.
Let them all pay your mortgage.
Yeah, absolutely. My dad had told me that after college, and he didn't know what he was talking about. Clearly, I wanted to go have fun and do the things there and whatever. But those are the kinds of things that if you can really set yourself up, pretty quickly at a young age to be able to do that.
I think that's one of the smartest things you could do. Yeah, for sure.
Let's talk about Engel Volkers.
Oh yeah.
It's a luxury brand globally. How does that affiliation actually benefit your clients in the market?
Yeah, well, it's tremendous. I would say joining Engel Volkers was the best professional decision I've ever made. Truly. There was no coin involved. It was literally like I sat down with my broker. Actually, Journey's Don't Stop Believing was playing when I walked in, and I was like...
Was that a setup? Have you found out if he was like...
You know what?
He was like, I think Katie will like this one.
he's never said, because he's heard me tell this story like 10 times, because it just felt like so serendipity. But now I bet now he's like, okay, maybe every time I interview an agent, like, can we put that as the walk-up song? Yeah. Because it was like, and I sat down with him, and I was like, oh, everything in my gut was like, oh, this is it. This is where you're supposed to be. And I hadn't heard of Engel and Volkers. And actually, at the time that I joined, they had just become Engel and Volkers. They were Grace Ryan before. But then became part of this global luxury brand. And it's amazing. I mean, the support, the people are so kind, and it really is so collaborative worldwide. And, I just was talking to somebody from Boston yesterday, who sent me a referral. I just sent another one out. Like, it truly is so connected and elevated. It's kind of like an Apple store, like all the shops is what they're called, throughout the world look very similar. So, and it's fun because when people travel, they send pictures of like, here I'm in Italy or Spain, and there's a ton in Europe too. I mean, it's in 34 countries across the globe as well. So if you are wanting, Pat, to buy, get the place in Rome. I'm your girl. I'll connect you. I am your girl.
Will you show me houses in Rome?
Of course, I can do this for you. I will, find a way to do that.
Well, I was thinking Greece.
I would love to go to Greece. Well, perfect. I'm pretty much a native. I'm pretty much a local.
I need 50 euros.
50 euros. I have 50. Can we start with that?
Yeah.
We have to start somewhere.
Right. There we go.
Yes, I will connect you to Greece. Absolutely.
Well, I know that anytime I'm working with an Engel Volkers agent, I know we're going to be in good shape, whether on the buy side or the listing side. So
we try. It's it's not a place of numbers. We really only hire experienced agents. So that is always the goal. And honestly, to provide a 5-star luxury service at any price point is really the goal. So and we have a big. I don't know if am I allowed to cuss on here?
You can cuss. You
can say because we have a big no asshole rule.
Okay.
Like it's yes. So that's the thing. So let me know though if you find one, and then we'll. No, I'm just kidding. Everyone is amazing.
No, you're allowed to curse. I have ours is we give a shit. So
is that your hashtag?
That's one of our, but not yet. But it's definitely one of our mantras.
It's a good mantra.
As an ambassador.
As an ambassador when you're doing your morning meditations.
Yes.
Yes, I love that.
We give a shit. So
perfect.
All right, so we're getting into the. Our listeners say it's their favorite part of
course.
Yeah, and it's the Gannon Gauntlet.
Perfect.
Where it's a series of fun, maybe some real estate, but personal and silly, funny questions. That's I specialize in that. And a few episodes ago, we started needing sunglasses for this, and I made up some ludicrous reasons as to why we're doing it. But today, we're going to go with the Maryland real estate market is so bright that we're gonna have to wear shades.
Boom,
get your shades
on.
Shades on. Okay.
Done.
Katie,
I love it.
Are you ready to enter the gauntlet?
I was born for the gauntlet.
Let's do it. What's one sentence buyers say that instantly makes you need a yoga mat?
We decided to rent. Pat, for 100, we decided to rent. Thank you. I'm so glad I showed you those 42 homes. And now, awesome. I love that for us.
That would definitely make. I hear that too.
You hear that, and it's okay. We want people to follow their dreams, but we like for them to own.
Yes, and just get on your yoga mat, and then you'll be fine.
Right. It's okay. It's okay.
All right. On the writing side, if you wrote a book about real estate, what would the title of the book be?
How to be a badass real estate agent.
Yeah, I love that one.
Since you said I could cuss, I'm just going for it.
You can say
Yeah, that's what I want.
Yeah, you don't have to show off really with your cursing, but no.
Oh, okay. You don't need to flex it now. Sailor, settle down.
No, I think that's an awesome book.
Yeah,
I would.
It's in the works. That's what I'm working on.
All right. Well, I'll buy the first book.
Thank you, Pat.
All right. This one. I chuckle when I saw this idea for a question. If you had to live in one house from a television show for a week, which house are you picking?
I'm picking. I don't know if you've seen Heated Rivalry. Highly recommend.
Okay.
I'm picking The Cottage. Unheated Robbery.
Okay.
And to quote the show, we can stay there for a week or even 2, but I'd actually like to spend the whole summer there. It's in Canada. It's in Ottawa.
So all right. So you're gonna have to just tell me a little bit. What is the? I don't know the show.
You don't know the show? You haven't heard of it?
No.
Pat.
I've been under a rock.
You've been under a rock.
Yeah, I've been doing too many podcasts.
You have. Right. Your future's so bright.
Yeah, right.
Real estate. You're watching those rates too hard.
Yeah, right.
Well, it's a great show. It's based on a book by Rachel Reed, and it's this Game Changers series. It's actually the series, but the show is based primarily on this heated rivalry, which is it's two couples who not two couples, sorry, one. I'll say 2 guys who play professional hockey.
Okay,
but then they might fall in love.
Oh.
It's a romance.
Wow, this is all right.
It's a romance. Spoiler alert, but it's okay. Most people have heard of it.
Right.
So I'm not going to be too much.
I'm gonna binge it tonight.
Please do and report back to me. It's on HBO Max. Oh, I'm an ambassador, I guess, for Heated Rivalry.
And HBO Max, everything.
But it's, and men like it too. Like women really, especially, I think, love this show, but men like it too. I think that it would do the world a service to watch the show.
All right.
Yeah, it's very well done.
I'm on it.
Okay, good.
I was thinking
it's a mature show, just
and
FYI.
so
Go watch with kids.
When I was thinking about when I read this question, I was thinking about my answer, and my answer is totally different.
What?
I'm just
where do you want to go?
I'm still a Seinfeld fan.
Yes.
I still watch almost every night. I watch an episode, and I think it still holds up. So I think I would love to. If I was in a week, I think I'd like to live in the apartment where Jerry.
You want to be in New York?
Yeah, Jerry and Kramer, and then Pat.
Okay, you would be a character with them.
For a week. I'm a character.
Okay, good. You're not just living that New York lifestyle by yourself.
No.
You want Lane's there. Right. The cereal boxes.
George,
all of it. George. Kramer's coming in.
Newman. Maybe I'm Newman's roommate. I don't think I want to do that. But
no, pick Jerry's. I feel like that'd be the greatest.
All right, we need to move on.
I like it.
We really went crazy.
Well, that was a really good question.
Yeah, I'm
sorry, the gauntlet.
Yeah, gotcha. Okay, we're going as a writer, what real estate phrase would you love to edit out of existence forever?
I'd probably say we'd like to test the market on the listing side. Well, we'd like to test the market. Let's price this for $1 million more than it's worth.
Yes.
And see what happens.
That gets obviously back to our earlier conversation that strategy is not the most sound strategy.
It's not the most sound strategy. Yes. Yeah. And some people are beyond convincing.
Yeah. I mean, does that maybe tells you sometimes that maybe they're not as serious about selling. They're like, hey, if I could get I think I'm always like, there's a number. Like if I have a number, I'm like, well, if I got that number, and then you're like,
but if not, then I won't.
Yeah.
Yes, and so sometimes, people can decide, and you can even bring them offers, and they can still, walk away from that.
Even at
that number,
price.
Sometimes they still are like, oh no, actually, we decided not. Again,
so why did you list the price of that? Okay.
Yes, or didn't list it at all.
Right.
Yes.
All right. What's one thing in a house you notice instantly that most people miss?
I like this question. This is fun. So you have to remember, you're walking into, often these beautiful houses and it's staged and it's stunning. I look at a ceiling. Ceiling can sometimes reveal some sins, that lipstick has tried to cover up, like mold or water, a roof that might need to be replaced. Like ceilings are, they tell a lot of secrets,
right?
People don't always look up. Sellers aren't looking at their ceilings often, but I would say, weird, I guess, thing about me, I'm a ceiling girl.
Right. You walk in the house.
Instant.
You're not stuck up. You don't have your nose.
No, right.
You're looking at the ceiling.
Want to make sure, right? Let's see if there's popcorn up there. Let's see what we're working with.
I got it. All right. Here's the last question, and I feel like one of the earlier things we talked about maybe gave us a clue as to what your answer is, but I'm going to ask it anyway.
Yeah.
Katie, what's your walk-up song for a listing appointment?
So, I probably have more than one. Kind of depends on the vibe, right?
Yeah.
So I would say Journey's "Don't Stop Believing" is one that's just like
you're listening into on the ride over. You're just getting yourself pumped up.
I get pumped up. I'm kind of this goes along with the ceiling, that I'm not as exciting as I'm pretending to be.
Yeah.
I often listen to classical music in the car because I like to think about, I got to get in my Zen space.
Yeah, got it. Okay.
You know?
I like that.
And like, but yeah, like Don't Stop Believing. But I would probably even say like a Taylor Swift Bejeweled. I would also be like a walk-up song. Like you got it. You know, let's do this.
Okay.
So,
do you like want to sing one of the bars of it or no?
Oh, right now?
Yeah, right.
I'm not going to do that to your dear precious listeners.
That's okay.
Or This Girl's on Fire, little Alicia Keys.
There you go. So when we get you back for your second appearance on the podcast, we'll maybe do a song. Maybe we'll do
Pat's Karaoke instead of the Gauntlet.
Yeah, Pat's Karaoke, or maybe like a poetry reading, like a one of those like I don't even know the word for it, but I can see TV like. Where they're up there, they're doing their thing. You know what I'm talking about?
like a slam poetry type of thing. I've never done it. That was the clue. Was your movement?
I don't even know if I'm playing an instrument.
You're playing like a violin as you're doing your poetry.
Yeah,
you can do that, Pat.
Yeah, so
you do that. You're gonna play the music.
I'll be me. All right.
You'll be you.
Well, this is amazing, Katie. You survived the gauntlet.
What do I win, Pat?
Yeah, you win a thing of rice-a-roni.
Yay!
Yeah, so you could take the glasses off, or you can keep them on. It's up to you. But I'm going to take mine off.
Oh, yeah, it is bright. It is bright in Maryland.
Whew. So so I can't believe this has flown by. The episode is wrapping up here, but I really want you to please let the listeners know how they can reach out to you.
Perfect. Well, I'm on Instagram. It's at Katie Yackley Moore. And so I realize that people might not know how to spell that. So it's KatieYackleymore. Instagram's probably my favorite.
And we'll have that in. We'll get like in the post and stuff like that. We'll have that.
Yeah,
people can get
but I'm on TikTok, which is like at Katie Moore EV, and then Facebook. Something like that too.
Yeah, sure.
Katie Moore EV, We'll
have it all in there.
We'll have it all in there. My number, all that. So, yes. Do people give their digits on here?
Yeah, you can give your digits. Yeah, sure.
All right. 443-623-7887.
Love it.
Please text for the fastest
Yes.
response.
Well, I think that was an amazing episode.
What a fun time.
I'm really glad that you came in and did this.
I'm
You're
grateful
amazing
for it.
guest. Reach out to Katie. You'll be in great hands, whether you're buying or selling. Definitely do that, and hope to have you back again.
Let's do it.
And that's the end of episode 8. We'll be back for episode 9 shortly. But as always, thanks for hanging with Gannon.
Yes, thank you, Pat. This was so fun. Thank you. You're amazing.